Ric Bucher now, Fox Sports, covered this league forever. All right, let's just start with that premise. Is that mobility has it's been good for every company I've worked for. It was good for the other guys. It's good for Fox. I mean, we went out. We've taken multiple guys from other companies. I don't care how you get here. You can force it. You can sign and trade. I think mobility is not the issue in the NBA. Am I wrong?
Colin, this is why turning you off at any point, you do so at your own peril. Because that LeBron, Michael Jordan comparison you made earlier, whew, I don't know about that. But this was brilliant. You are so spot on. The movement, look, the NBA sells hope more than anything else.
Right.
It's the hope that my team can get a superstar. The hope that my team can change its fortunes dramatically in a heartbeat. And the player movement does that. It also engages fans on social media. The NBA has rocketed as far as attention and popularity because everybody's out there buzzing about where's KD going to go? Where's Kyrie going to go next year? Is LeBron going to move again? What's going to happen to Anthony Davis? That is what has grown the appeal of the NBA. So I'm 1,000% with you that is actually has been great for the NBA. I think the NFL is starting to pick up on that.
Yes.
We're seeing more of it. And the flip side is, yes, you need to find a way where these guys are actually playing games. And the NBA and the Players Union is attempting to address that by saying we're not going to give out awards to guys unless they play a requisite number of games in a particular season. I don't know if that's going to cure the issue.
That's my solution.
But it's certainly taking a shot at it.
Yeah, that's my solution. I've said that months and months ago, is you got to play 90% of your games to be an all-star, 85% to win an award. I will give you in the second half of a season a 6 or 7 game break because you get banged up. I'll give you some. But I think it's a bit of a solution, especially for young players who aren't winning titles. They like those awards. They have bonuses. Maybe for a veteran guy, he doesn't care. But for a young star, a Ja Morant, it does matter. Okay, I said this. MJ's 60th birthday. I think MJ and LeBron have all had various stages. There's the, I'm great, but I don't have the coach right. There's the, okay, now I'm winning. I got my Robin, I got my coach. There's the, okay, I'm going to make a big change. One goes to baseball, one goes back to Cleveland, shocks the world. First year isn't great, rest of it's pretty good, and then both end up in a mess, kind of like Washington was a mess. Lakers, I know they won in the bubble, but it's all over the place. And you disagree with that take?
Yeah, you saw the movie A Beautiful Mind with John Nash, right? How much time did you spend in your garage with clippings and yarn and a chalkboard with theories and all that? Colin, at this point in your career, you shouldn't be working this hard to put this together. Look, here's the great distinction. Michael Jordan, and I'm glad you actually brought this up because it brings up two really important distinctions when we compare their two careers. Number one, Michael Jordan was in Chicago, and they didn't figure it out, and they weren't a championship team, and Phil Jackson was not a championship coach, and they figured it out together. And he stuck it out to do everything that he did there. LeBron James had to go to Miami to learn from Dwayne Wade and Pat Riley what it was to be a champion and how to win championships. And I've long said this, and I will stick by it. The greatest achievement that LeBron James has ever had is that he went back to Cleveland and took that knowledge that he gained in Miami, and he won a championship in Cleveland. He changed the way we view that franchise, I dare say the way we view that city. That, to me, by far, is his greatest accomplishment. Now, in thinking about this, knowing we were going to talk about it, this is the one element that we never talk about that I believe is overlooked in terms of what Jordan accomplished and what LeBron James did not, which is three-peats. Winning 3 times in a row. Colin, you've had kids. You know, 1 + 1 isn't 2.
Right.
It's 4. And 1 + 1 + 1 isn't 3. 3 championships in a row is not anywhere comparable to winning 2 in a row. Michael Jordan did that twice, three-peated twice. The difficulty of doing that and doing that staying in the same place, that's the great separation here. So I can see how you were able to take pieces and make that comparison. And I'm glad that you did, because it brought me to some other things to point up. But the actual construction of it,
all right.
I can't go there with you, my friend.
All right, that's fine. So I had, last night was one of those lucky things where I went to dinner by myself, which is sad and pathetic, but I did bump into a friend and his wife, and I sat down and we just talked. He was very, very long-time NBA employee. Not going to give away too much, but one of the things we talked about was LeBron and AD, and he's very well-sourced. And when you have multiple leaks over the course of 3 or 4 days, and, Darvin Ham's not doing this right, and they clearly look like they weren't leaked by the Lakers, right? LeBron's playing too many minutes. Suddenly the next game, LeBron plays his fewest minutes of the year.
Right.
I think LeBron's still got a tweak in him. I think he's happy where they're at compared to where they were 2 weeks ago. The roster's better. It's got some versatility and flexibility, and it didn't. But I don't think this AD thing, I think LeBron, after that bubble, wanted to hand the baton 40 minutes tonight to AD, and he came in out of shape. He can't depend on him. Listen, LeBron bailed on D-Wade because he thought he got a little creaky. AD is D-Wade times a lot of creakiness. I don't think it's right.
Yep.
And I had a source 2 weeks ago say, Mavericks AD, just keep your eye on it.
Yeah.
What do you think LeBron AD going forward looks like? Give me your whole thought on that.
Yeah, it's a very intriguing situation because you're right. LeBron always gets restless.
Yes.
If it's not working, then he's ready to change it up in a heartbeat. And let's face it, AD just not being available and not taking the reins and not taking some of the responsibility off LeBron's plate, that certainly was his idea, and it hasn't happened. Now, the idea of trading AD, because what you're really saying is the possibility of trading AD to Dallas for Kyrie Irving. Because of all the moves, like this is they changed the team, all right? But they severely handicapped themselves in terms of being able to demonstrably change their team this summer or for next season, short of moving someone like Anthony Davis.
That's right.
The difficulty here is that Jeannie Buss absolutely loves Anthony Davis. Moving Anthony Davis is not going to be something that she wants to do. So what happens over the next month or so, I believe, is vital to LeBron James still having the influence and authority to say, look, I can still win. He said it. I can still win championships. Okay. You're going to need to prove it now if you want to change this team and you ultimately want the Lakers to push the button on AD to get Kyrie Irving here. You need to demonstrate that you can take what we have here and carry this team, at the very least, into the playoffs. And I think that's going to influence the decision-making here. Because what we've seen is that the Lakers are not responding immediately to everything that LeBron asks them to do at this point. They're looking at it and saying, hey, we know you've won, but you haven't won here consistently, so we don't know that we want to spend all of our assets to keep you happy. And obviously, moving Anthony Davis for Kyrie Irving would be spending the very last biggest asset that they have.
Yeah. Finally, I think KD is very unique. He's a plug-and-play guy. You can bring him in. He flourished in Oklahoma City as Westbrook would dribble the air out of the ball and give him the ball with 4 seconds on the clock. He fit immediately fit with Golden State, with two elite shooters. A very smart basketball guy. Even in Oklahoma with odd Ben Simmons, needy Kyrie Irving, out-of-shape James Harden, he was still took this team to the playoffs. I mean, he's very good. I think Phoenix is literally perfect. I think in the NFL, I look for identities. What's this offensive identity? I don't in the NBA. I look for elements. I look for a veteran coach. Check. Smart veteran point guard who's not scoring-centric, check. Another wing scorer, check. A capable young big that can get up and down the floor. Now, they're going to miss Mikal Bridges. But I think this thing, the West is wide open. I think Phoenix is really good, really fast. Do you?
I certainly think that they could be as a regular season team, and I would say that they are a title contender now in a way that they were not before they got KD. But all that said, I just think that they're in the mix. People have immediately vaulted them past Denver and the Clippers and Memphis. And you've got 20 games here to figure out, to develop the chemistry and synchronicity that those teams have been working on for years. And when we get to the playoffs, when we get to postseason Game 7, everybody has to have a clear idea of what their role is and what the team is collectively going to do. I just don't know that there's enough time for Phoenix to develop that same sort of chemistry. And here's the other element that I think is really has been underplayed and you saw it against the Clippers last night. They, not just Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, defense has actually been the thing that has kept the Phoenix Suns above water this season.
Yeah.
That's going to take a severe header as a result of losing those two accomplished wings. They were already missing not having Jay Crowder in the mix this year because of the disagreement between him and Monty. So that's where I think that this doesn't ultimately work. You've got to go through some really talented wing players in the Western Conference.
Look at that.
To end up winning it. And I just don't see the defensive players that the Suns have in order to do that.
So this goes back to mobility. I am genuinely happy that Durant got out of that mess and he's in Phoenix. That makes me. I'm looking at that poster. I got Chris Paul, Ayton, Booker, Monty Williams. I'm like, that's great. I'm going to tell you something. Phoenix will become the best watch in the league here in about a week. That is going to be fascinating to watch. J-Max rolling his eyes. Who are you on? You still like the Jazz?
I never liked the Jazz, but even Ric Bucher knows you can't beat Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving watching the dysfunction / artistry of those two on the same team.
Oh, there we go. You're soap opera here. Okay, I'll give you that. No, actually, you know what all this sets up? I mean, look, we already had the Suns-Mavs rivalry.
Yeah.
Now you add Kyrie to one side and KD on the other. Oh, basketball gods, please give us a Mavs-Suns series in the postseason. Please, that's all I'm asking for Christmas for next year already.
Ric Bucher, good seeing you, Bukes. Thanks for coming on today, buddy. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.